In your business with Tiktoshh.
What's up, y'all? It's me, Tiktoshh, and welcome back to another episode of In Your Business with Tiktoshh. Yes, In Your Business with Tiktoshh. We are about to get all up in somebody's business, but before we do that, as y'all can see, the couch is empty today. The pink couch is empty today. We don't have any guests on the show today, but I want to tell y'all a little bit about myself. I am Tiktoshh. I'm a very viral creator on TikTok. I have over 1.3 million followers, and yeah, I've been featured on MTV. I am responsible for that very viral term, bestie this, bestie that. That would be me. So now I'm switching gears a little bit and we doing a podcast, and the podcast just so happens to be In Your Business with Tiktoshh, where I cover every ream that I could possibly cover on In Your Business with Tiktoshh. Today, let me tell y'all where we finna go. And I want y'all to put y'all handcuffs on and let's get ready to go. Yes, put y'all handcuffs on and let's get ready to go. Okay, y'all. So today we are going to the police department. I don't know about y'all, but I literally don't want to be at no police department. But today we're going to the police department. I want y'all to know that when we think of law enforcement, police officers, detectives, whoever, we don't think of bad guys, or we're not supposed to think of the bad guys anyway. We're not supposed to. But how can you not when officers are doing literally the unthinkable? The unthinkable makes me so upset. I don't even want to discuss this topic, but we have to. These officers need to be held accountable when they do something wrong, just like they be so adamant about holding people accountable when they do something wrong. Citizens, that is. When we do something wrong, we have to be held accountable. So why should we not put the light on them? Let's put the light on them. Down in Indianapolis, probationary, hear my word, probationary police officer. So this officer hadn't even passed his probationary period yet. He was with the law enforcement agency for a little under a year when he did the unthinkable. I want y'all to really understand that this officer was on his probationary period. Like, you that desperate? I'm gonna tell y'all in 2 seconds what he did. Let me just go and tell y'all, because I could talk about him for hours. Officer Howard did the unthinkable. He is accused of raping a domestic violence victim. Let me say that slower. He's accused of raping a domestic violence victim. And he's also accused of official misconduct. Let's go ahead and get all up in Mr. Howard's business. I want to start off by apologizing to the victim or victims mentioned in today's show. I pray peace over you. I'm sorry that you had to, experience something so awful, and we would never wish it upon anyone. I can't say I've been in your shoes before, but I can definitely empathize and wish you nothing but peace and blessings. Okay? According to the court files, the officer raped this woman in her own home. The officer raped the woman in her own home. Let me let you understand why and how the officer was at the woman's house, how he knew the woman, how he came in contact with the woman. The officers and other colleagues responded to a call earlier this year. I'm so gone, y'all, in regards to how this even played out. It got me shaken, okay? Because I have daughters. I have 3 daughters, and I would hate for them to have to call law enforcement for something and something like this happens. Back on track. The officers responded to the lady's house because she called them in regards to her boyfriend hitting her, beating on her. When the officers arrived, they ended up arresting her boyfriend. Okay, so I'm sure that was just like a sigh of relief, comfort for her, knowing that she would be able to, regroup, sleep better for the night, whatever the case may be. If she was going to get out of the home, whatever the case may be. When the officers arrive, you're supposed to feel safe. And so with that being said, they took away the accuser, her boyfriend. He went to jail. Officer Howard knew that the boyfriend was in jail, so he did the unthinkable. He returned later that night, knocked on this woman's door, rung the doorbell, however he did it. Because it's an officer, when you look outside, and it's an officer that you saw earlier in the day. Comment down below if you saw this officer and he helped you earlier. Although he's not with his colleagues this time, he's by himself. Would you feel okay about opening the door for this officer? Because you have to want to know what the officer is doing back at your house. And again, they did protect me earlier. So I don't want to hear nobody saying she shouldn't have answered the door, all of that type of stuff. Like me personally, I would have said, yes, how can I help you through the door? Because that's the kind of person I am. It's just like my guards are always up and we still cannot say what someone else should have done. So y'all be respectful in the comments. Be mindful that this lady has endured the worst of her life that I have yet to tell you. Okay, so when the officer came in, he said, I could have taken you to jail too, right? Antennas are up on this woman, I'm sure. Like, what do you mean? This man was beating on me and you're saying you could have taken me to jail? What did I do? So before anything else could transpire, the officer made his way in and started R-ing this woman. Y'all know what R-ing this woman is. Y'all know what the letter R does. You know the powerful impact it has on people for the rest of their lives. You know what this word means. It's so powerful that I don't even want to speak it out of my mouth again. He began R-ing this woman for 10 straight minutes or more. 10 minutes. He began R-ing the domestic violence victim, the victim that he came to help earlier in the day with all of his colleagues that made her so comfortable to let him back into her home. As if she hadn't already endured enough. But you're an officer. Whether you're on probation or not, you have already been working other places in your lifetime. You still know right from wrong. You had no right doing what you did to that woman, Officer Howard. And you're going to pay for every second that she had to endure that because a person that could have protected her, you took off to jail. Even though he failed her, I'm sure if he was there, he would not have allowed you to do this to her. I know in my heart of hearts, he wouldn't have allowed you to do this to her. After he R-ed her, she filed a report. Although he threatened her and all of the above, she filed a report. I can't believe this, y'all. I cannot believe this, you guys. The probationary officer are the same victim that he went to help, protect, and serve earlier in the day. Moving along, after the officer began being investigated, so much more started to unravel. So much more started to unravel, you guys. During the investigation, they found that the officer had not only done this to this lady, he also did the same thing to a car accident victim. Once her car was towed away, she had no ride. He then offered the lady a ride. They got so far to where they were going, and he got in the back seat, and he R-ed her. He turned the body cam off, and he R-ed her. in the back of the police car. You know, the same car that they haul criminals away in? That's where he hired this lady. Once this started being investigated and brought out to him after this initial charge that was brought up on him for hiring the domestic violence victim, he then said it was consensual with him and the car accident victim. In your police car, sir? Could you have not gotten her number, which is something I don't think you're supposed to be doing either on your job if it was that serious? No, you hired her too. She's not lying. You hired her. Okay? Then when he was called on it, he began to tell the sergeant or whomever he had contact with that he's had sex with multiple women in the backseat of his patrol car. Do you know how alarming that is? Do you know how alarming that is? They are still investigating it, although charges have been brought on these two cases, and he's going to have his day in court later this month. It is so disheartening, you guys. We have to be careful with everything that we do. It's sad that we can't, I know we're not supposed to hold all police officers accountable, but how can you not look at them sideways when hoping for help? One side of you is hoping for help and you want to feel safe. We've watched a ton of movies like that, but this is real life. This is real life. Like, this happened in real life. So where do we draw the line between fear of the police officers and the people that are there to protect and serve? And where do we stand on the other side of that line and just pray and hope that we're making the right decision, because we never know when we're going to need help from law enforcement. But we should never have to be thinking about it like this. Law officers, do better. Protect and serve, whether you're the paramedics. I had a bad experience. This is off subject with paramedics before. They're rude, they're obnoxious, they don't care. And that's not all of them, because I've also had very good experiences with some. You guys do better, because we're dependent on you. The world is dependent on you. Do better with making us feel comfortable. People in the medical field as well, pharmacies. We know you're overwhelmed. You have a lot of prescriptions to get out, but we're in pain. Or we're suffering from illnesses that we're relying on medicine just to be able to stay alive. People that are insulin dependent, things of that nature. Do better. Understand what's going on. Y'all, we are done with In Your Business with Tiktoshh, and we just got all up into probationary officer, who is now fired officer, who is disgusting officer's business. Officer Howard, Indianapolis, please protect and serve everyone else out there where this man lives. Please protect and serve. If y'all like this video, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Also, leave me some comments, because we have to stick together, y'all. We gotta figure this out. We shouldn't have to, but we do. We gotta be safe. You have any tips for people that's been through the DV, or people that need healing from it, and just any tips, leave them down in the comments. You never know who might be watching, even silent watchers.